I'll pay you 200K if you build this. They laughed at her for being a woman and an engineer until the bridge. Amanda Johnson took a deep breath before entering the meeting room of the largest construction company in the Hudson Valley. Her mother, Mrs. Margaret, had been hospitalized for 3 weeks, needing a heart surgery that cost exactly $200,000, and the insurance had denied coverage, calling it an experimental procedure. That's when she heard the laughter echoing down the hallway. Richard Anderson, the owner of Anderson Construction, was pointing at her while talking to other businessmen. A woman wanting to build the bridge over the Clearwater River. What a joke, he said, slamming the table. Go back home, sweetheart. Engineering is no place for a woman. Amanda tightened her grip on the folder with her blueprints. She had spent 3 years working on those calculations, developing a revolutionary technique that would save 60% of the materials traditionally used. Mr. Anderson, you haven't even looked at my plans, she said, keeping her voice steady. I don't need to, I know it's nonsense, he laughed louder. But you know what, I'll give you a chance. If you can build the Clearwater River Bridge in 90 days, I'll pay you $200,000. The other men in the room burst into laughter. One of them shouted, "She won't last a week." When you fail, and you will fail, I never want to see you on a construction site in this area again, Anderson continued, pulling a wad of cash from his wallet and tossing it onto the table. Here's the advance, $5,000. You'll get the rest when you finish, if you finish. Amanda looked at the money. $5,000 was exactly what she needed to cover 2 more weeks of her mother's hospital stay, while she figured out the rest. I accept, she said. The room fell silent for a moment before erupting in laughter again. Anderson shook his head in disdain. You have 90 days starting Monday. The city has already approved the standard design. Use whatever you want, but the bridge must be ready and pass inspection. Amanda picked up the money from the table. Don't worry. In 90 days, the bridge will be done. As she left the room, she could still hear the laughter. In the hallway, she bumped into a dark-haired man in his 30s, leaning against the wall. You've got guts, he said. I'm Michael Anderson, the owner's son. Amanda eyed him warily. Here to mock me too? Actually, I came to warn you. Michael lowered his voice. My father won't make it easy. He'll do everything to make you fail. Why are you telling me this? Michael sighed. Because I'm tired of seeing talent wasted over prejudice. I studied your plans at the front desk. They're brilliant. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us newcomers. Now, back to the story. The next day, Amanda visited the construction site for the first time. The site was on the outskirts of Ridgefield, a small town in upstate New York. The Clearwater River cut through the main road, forcing residents to take a 15-mile detour to get to the other side. She parked her yellow pickup truck and unloaded her gear. It was Monday morning, and the sun was already blazing. She put on her yellow vest, strapped on her white hard hat, and spread the blueprints over the hood of the truck. You the engineer? A voice asked behind her. Amanda turned and saw 3 men in orange overalls approaching. The oldest, a gray-haired man in his 50s, seemed to be the leader. That's me, Amanda Johnson. You're the crew. Were, the man said, but we just got a better offer. Anderson offered us double pay to work on the highway project. What do you mean? Look, miss, nothing personal. But a job's a job, another worker said. And frankly, no one believes you'll be able to build this bridge. Much less in 90 days, added the third man. Amanda felt her heart tighten. Without workers, how would she even start the project? Are you sure? Maybe I can negotiate the pay. It won't help. Anderson has way more money than you, said the older man. Sorry, but that's just how things work. The 3 climbed into a white pickup truck and drove off, leaving Amanda alone by the river. She sat on a rock and watched the water flow. It was a wide river, about 40 yards from one bank to the other. The current wasn't too strong, but deep pilings would be needed to support the piers. I can't give up, she murmured to herself. Mom needs that surgery. She pulled her phone from her bag and called the hospital. Hello, Dr. Sarah, it's Amanda. How's my mother today? I see. Yes, I know time is running out. Can you give me a few more days? I'll get the money. When she hung up, she wanted to cry. But she took a deep breath and went back to studying the plans. "I'll just have to start alone," she said aloud. She spent the rest of the day taking measurements and marking where the pilings would go. The work was hard, but she was used to it. During college, she'd worked on several construction sites to pay her way. By late afternoon, as she was packing up her equipment, she heard footsteps approaching. "Good evening," said a woman's voice. Amanda looked up and saw a woman in her 40s, thin, her face weathered by the sun. She wore a plain t-shirt and faded jeans. "Good evening. Can I help you?" "Actually, I came to offer help," the woman said. "My name's Betty. I live on the other side of the river. Saw you working here all day." "Oh, right. I'm the engineer in charge of the bridge." Betty smiled. "That's great. We've been missing this bridge something fierce. My husband works in town and has to leave an hour early because of the detour." "Exactly. It'll make life much easier for you." "Sure will, and listen, if you need help, count me in. I don't know a thing about construction, but I've got 2 arms and plenty of willpower." Amanda was surprised. "That's really kind of you, Betty, but it's hard work. Women can't handle hard work." Betty laughed. "Honey, I'm raising 5 kids on my own. Hard work is all I know." "Your kids?" "Yeah. My husband died 2 years ago. Factory accident. Since then, it's just me holding everything together." Amanda felt a pang in her heart. This woman had lost her husband and was raising 5 children alone, yet she was still offering to help. "Betty, I'd really appreciate your help, but I can't pay much." "Who said anything about pay?" Betty waved her hand. "This bridge is for the community. We'll all benefit." "You're sure?" "Absolutely. And hey, I've got some friends who might pitch in too. Dorothy, who lives next door, Jennifer, who runs the little store. Women worth their salt don't shy away from work." Amanda smiled for the first time since she'd taken on the challenge. "Then it's settled. We start tomorrow at 7 in the morning. We'll be here," Betty said. "And honey." "Yes?" "Don't listen to what the men say. A woman can do anything she sets her mind to." The next morning, Amanda arrived at the site at 6:30. To her surprise, Betty was already there, waiting with 2 other women. "Good morning, engineer," Betty said cheerfully. "These are the friends I mentioned, Dorothy and Jennifer." Dorothy was a woman in her 60s, short and sturdy. Jennifer was younger, in her early 30s, with the look of someone unafraid of hard labor. "Nice to meet you," Amanda said. "Are you sure you want to do this?" "Absolutely," Dorothy replied. "I've got 7 grandkids living on the other side of the river. This bridge will save me a lot of time when visiting you all. And I have a little shop," said Jennifer. "With the bridge, I'll get a lot more customers." "Perfect," said Amanda, picking up the plans. "Then let's get started." She explained to the 3 women how the work would go. First, they needed to clear the land and mark the spots. Then dig the holes where the foundation posts would be driven. "Sounds complicated," said Dorothy. "Just follow the steps," Amanda explained. "I'll teach you everything." That morning, they worked on clearing the land. It was tiring work, removing rocks, branches, and weeds, but the women didn't complain once. Mid-morning, a black car arrived. Out stepped Richard Anderson, followed by 2 men in suits. "Look at this," Anderson said loudly so everyone could hear. "The engineer hired her own crew, 4 women to build a bridge." The men laughed. "This'll go great," one of them said sarcastically. Anderson walked up to Amanda. "How's the work going, engineer?" "Fine, on schedule," Amanda replied, not stopping her work. "I'm sure," Anderson said, looking around. "Where are the materials?" "The machinery." "They arrive tomorrow." "Oh, really? And who's gonna operate them?" "These housewives." Amanda stopped working and stared at him. "Mr. Anderson, are you doubting women's abilities?" "I'm not doubting, girl, I'm stating a fact. Women don't have the strength for this kind of work." Betty, who was digging a nearby hole, stopped and stepped forward. "You want to bet?" she said. Anderson laughed. "Bet what?" "That I can dig this hole faster than any man on your team." Anderson glanced at the suited men, who chuckled. "I'll take that bet. Jack, come here." One of the men, tall and strong, stepped forward. "What's up, boss?" "You're competing with the housewife here. Whoever digs a 1-meter deep hole first. Jack laughed. Is this a joke? It's no joke, Betty said, grabbing her shovel. And when I win, I want you all to apologize to the engineer. And if you lose? If I lose, I'll buy you all a beer. Anderson shook his head. Fine. But when you lose, I want you to admit a woman's place isn't on a construction site. Amanda marked 2 1-meter squares on the ground. Betty and Jack took their positions, each with a shovel. Go! Anderson shouted. The two started digging. Jack was stronger, but Betty had better technique. She'd learned to dig wells during droughts and knew how to pace herself. At first, Jack took the lead, but after 15 minutes he started tiring. Betty kept a steady rhythm. Come on, Jack, don't lose to a woman, Anderson yelled. Dorothy and Jennifer started cheering for Betty. Go, Betty, show 'em! After 40 minutes, Betty had dug a perfect 1-meter hole. Jack was still at 80 centimeters, sweating and panting. Done, Betty said, stepping out of the hole. Exactly 1 meter. Anderson measured with a tape. Sure enough, it was exactly 1 meter. That was luck, he muttered. Luck nothing, Betty said. It was skill, and now y'all owe the engineer an apology. Anderson turned red with anger. Jack, let's go. Hey, what about the apology? Dorothy called. I don't owe anyone an apology, Anderson said, getting into the car. After they left, the 4 women hugged in celebration. Betty, you were amazing, Amanda said. It was nothing. Learned to dig from my dad when I was a girl. That day, they managed to clear the whole site and mark the spots for the foundation posts. Amanda was impressed by the 3 women's dedication. The next day, the first materials arrived. Amanda had found a supplier in Stamford who agreed to sell at a fair price. But when the truck arrived, it only had half of what was ordered. Where's the rest? Amanda asked the driver. I don't know, ma'am. They only loaded this much. Amanda called the supplier. Hello, Mr. Anthony? It's Amanda. What do you mean the order was cancelled? But we had an agreement. Who told you to cancel? When she hung up, she was pale. What happened? Betty asked. Anderson called the supplier, said to cancel the order because I couldn't pay. But that's a lie. I know, but Mr. Anthony got scared and cancelled. Jennifer slammed her fist on her thigh. That man has no shame. What now? Dorothy asked. Amanda looked at the few materials that had arrived. It wasn't even enough to start a foundation. I'll have to find another supplier. She spent the rest of the day calling various construction supply stores, but they all said the same thing. Either they didn't have the materials, couldn't deliver to the area, or the price was way beyond what she could afford. By late afternoon, when she was about to give up, she got a call. Hello, are you the engineer working on the bridge? Asked an older man's voice. Yes, I am. Who's speaking? My name's Harold. Harold Miller. I have a used materials warehouse here in Pleasantville. I heard about your project. Used materials? Yeah, demolition leftovers, construction scraps, all in good condition. If you want, you can come take a look. Amanda hung up and told the other women. Will used materials work? Betty asked. Depending on the condition, yes. Better than nothing. The next day, the 4 women went to Mr. Harold's warehouse. It was a large lot, full of neatly stacked materials, bricks, roof tiles, iron beams, bags of cement. Mr. Harold was a tall, thin man in his 70s, with white hair and blue eyes. He wore blue overalls and had the calloused hands of someone who'd worked hard all his life. Welcome, he said. I heard about your project. Very brave. Thank you, Mr. Harold. What materials do you have? Come with me, I'll show you. He led them through the warehouse. There was enough material for 3 bridges. My late brother was a demolition worker, Harold explained. When he passed, I inherited all this. I don't have kids, so I just keep it here and sell when someone's interested. Why did you decide to help us? Amanda asked. Harold stopped and looked at her. My wife was an engineer, graduated in 1968, back when there were hardly any women in the field. She faced a lot of prejudice, but she never gave up. Does she still work? No, she passed 5 years ago, Harold sighed, but she always said one day women would show what they're capable of in engineering. Amanda felt her eyes well up. She must have been a very strong woman. She was. And seeing you all here, fighting against everything, I remembered her. That's why I want to help. How much do you want for the materials? Harold scratched his head. For you, I'll give a special price. You can pay as you use them. And if the bridge works out, pay me what you can. If it doesn't, you owe me nothing." The four women exchanged surprised glances. "Mr. Harold, that's incredibly generous." "Nonsense. It's an investment. When the bridge is done and everyone sees it was built by women, my warehouse will be famous." They laughed. "Then it's a deal," Amanda said. "One more thing," Harold added. "My nephew Brandon drives a truck. He can transport the materials for just the cost of fuel." That afternoon, the first load arrived at the site. Brandon was a friendly, hard-working young man around 25. He helped unload and organize everything. "Uncle Harold said you're all brave," he said. "I admire that. My mum was like that too, raised 5 kids alone after my dad left us." "Strong women are certainly not lacking in this country," said Betty. "That's true," Brandon agreed. "And look, if you need anything else, just call. I'm rooting for you." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing. With the materials in hand, they could finally begin the real work. Amanda Johnson taught the 3 women how to mix concrete and drive the first stakes. "The secret is to keep it perfectly straight," she explained. "If the foundation is crooked, the entire bridge will be compromised." It was hard work. They took turns with the cement mixer, carried bags of cement, dug, measured, but no one complained. By the end of the first week, they had already driven 4 of the 8 necessary stakes. Amanda was proud of their progress. "At this rate, we'll finish ahead of schedule," she said. That's when they received an unexpected visit. Michael Anderson arrived on a black motorcycle late Friday afternoon. Amanda was immediately suspicious. "What do you want here?" "Relax. I'm not here to cause trouble," Michael said, removing his helmet. "Actually, I came to offer help." "Help? Your father is doing everything he can to sabotage our work." "I know, and that's exactly why I want to help. I'm tired of his behavior." Michael looked around the construction site. "You're doing incredible work here. My father said you wouldn't last a week, but it's been a month, and the project is moving forward." "What exactly do you want?" Betty asked, skeptical. "I want to lend you some equipment. I have a mini excavator that could speed up your work significantly." Amanda shook her head. "I can't accept that. Your father will be furious." "He doesn't even have to know. The machine is stored in a nearby shed. I can bring it at night and pick it up early in the morning." "And why would you do that?" Michael sighed. "Because I want to prove I was wrong about women in engineering. I studied your blueprints, Amanda. They're brilliant. You'll save materials and time with these techniques." "You studied my blueprints?" "I did. And you know what? They're better than anything I've ever seen at my father's company." Amanda fell silent, thinking, "If your father finds out, he won't. And even if he did, I don't care anymore. I'm tired of pretending to agree with his prejudice." "All right," Amanda finally said, "but only if it's truly a loan. I don't want any favors." "It's really a loan, no cost at all." That night, Michael brought the mini excavator. It was a small machine, but it would make a huge difference in their work. "Does anyone here know how to operate it?" he asked. "I do," Jennifer said. "My ex-husband had one. I learned to use it to help him on the farm." Michael was surprised. "Really? Women learn anything when they have to," Jennifer laughed. By Monday morning, their progress had skyrocketed. With the mini excavator, they finished all the foundations in 2 days. Anderson showed up at the site on Wednesday and was stunned by the progress. "How did you manage to do this so fast?" he asked suspiciously. "Teamwork," Amanda replied. "Impossible. You must have hired outside help." "Feel free to look around," Betty said. "It's just the 4 of us here." Anderson walked around the site searching for signs of outside assistance, but he found nothing. The mini excavator was stored in the shed. "This can't be right," he muttered. "I'll have a city engineer come inspect." "Go ahead," Amanda said. "The work is being done to code." The next day, the city engineer arrived, a serious middle-aged man who examined everything carefully. "Documentation," he said. Amanda handed over all the paperwork. The engineer checked each one. "Approved blueprints, up-to-date permits, signed contracts. Everything is correct." He measured the foundations precisely. The measurements are exact. The concrete meets the right specifications. Impeccable work, he said, looking surprised. Any problems? Asked Amanda. None at all. In fact, it's one of the best jobs I've ever seen. Congratulations. Anderson, who had been overseeing the inspection, turned red with anger. Are you sure everything's right? Absolutely. This project is being executed with higher quality than most I've reviewed. After the engineer left, Anderson approached Amanda. I don't know how you're pulling this off, but it won't last. There are still 60 days left. A lot can happen. Is that a threat? Asked Betty. It's not a threat, housewife. It's a fact. Construction sites are dangerous. Accidents happen. Amanda felt a chill in her stomach. If anything happens to the project or my workers, You'll what? Anderson laughed. What will you do? You're just a little girl playing engineer. That night, Amanda couldn't sleep. Anderson's words echoed in her head. Could he really sabotage the project? The next morning, when she arrived at the site, she found an unpleasant surprise. Someone had tampered with the materials overnight. The bags of cement were wet, and the rebar was scattered. What kind of mess is this? Said Dorothy. It's sabotage, Amanda said, inspecting the damage. Someone soaked the cement on purpose. Do you think it was Anderson? Asked Jennifer. I can't prove it, but I'm sure it was. Betty was furious. That man has no limits. How could he do something like this? Amanda calculated the losses. 20 bags of cement ruined, plus the work of reorganizing everything. We'll have to buy more cement, she said, and I don't have spare money. What now? Amanda thought for a moment. I'll call Mr. Harold. Maybe he can lend us more materials. Harold answered on the first ring. Hello, Amanda. How's the project going? Mr. Harold, we had a problem. Someone sabotaged our materials. Sabotaged how? Amanda explained what had happened. That's dirty, Harold said. Don't worry, I've got cement here. Brandon will bring it to you today. Mr. Harold, I can't pay right now. I already told you, you can pay later. The important thing is, the project doesn't stop. 2 hours later, Brandon arrived with a load of cement. Uncle Harold sent more than you lost, he said. And listen, he wants to tell you something. What is it? He said he expected they'd try to sabotage your project, so he decided to give you extra help. Brandon opened the truck bed. Besides the cement bags, there was a surprise. 4 men climbed out. Good afternoon, ladies, said one, a man in his 50s. We're Harold's friends. We came to offer our help. Amanda was skeptical. What kind of help? Labor. We're retired construction workers, but we've still got energy. Harold told us about your situation, and we decided to step in. But we can't pay. Nobody mentioned payment, said another man. We want to help because what's happening to you isn't right. Besides, added a third, my daughter's an engineer too. I know how hard it is for women in this field. And I have 4 granddaughters, said the fourth. I want them to grow up in a world where women can do anything. Amanda felt her eyes well up. Are you sure? Absolutely, said the first man, who introduced himself as Walter. In fact, we've already talked to your friends here. Betty explained everything. We've decided to stay. Stay how? We'll set up camp nearby. That way the site stays guarded and the work gets done faster. This is amazing, Amanda said. Betty stepped closer. Amanda, these men are family men. They know what struggle is. They came here of their own free will. And do you have experience? Asked Amanda. We've worked together in construction for over 20 years, said Walter. If you teach us your technique, we guarantee the bridge will turn out exactly as you planned. With the arrival of the 4 masons, work on the bridge sped up significantly. In just 1 week, they managed to raise the main pillars. Anderson showed up at the site on Monday and was furious when he saw the progress. Where did these men come from? He shouted. They're volunteers, Amanda replied calmly. Volunteers? Nobody works for free. Well, Mr. Anderson, said Walter, there are things more important than money, like dignity, for example. You don't know me, old man. You don't know who you're dealing with. Oh, I know. You're the man who humiliated these hard-working women. And you know what? I'm not afraid of bullies. Anderson turned red with anger but said nothing else. He got into his car and sped off, tires screeching. That same afternoon, Amanda got a call from the hospital. "Hello, Amanda. It's Dr. Sarah. I need to speak with you urgently about your mother." Amanda's heart raced. "What happened, doctor?" "Your mother took a turn for the worse this morning. We need to perform the surgery this week. We can't wait any longer. But I don't have the money yet. Amanda, without the surgery, your mother might not make it. We have to try something." Amanda hung up in a panic. She ran to where the others were working. "Everyone, I need to go to the hospital. My mother—" She couldn't finish the sentence and burst into tears. "What's wrong, dear?" asked Walter. "She needs emergency surgery, but I don't have the money. The bridge isn't finished yet." Betty hugged her. "Calm down, Amanda. We'll figure something out." "How? There are still 50 days left to finish the bridge, and even if I finish today, Anderson might not pay." "Oh, he'll pay," said a voice behind them. Everyone turned. It was Michael Anderson, who had arrived on his motorcycle. "Michael, what are you doing here?" asked Amanda. "I came to bring you something," he said, pulling an envelope from his pocket. "It's $10,000 to help with your mother's surgery." "I can't accept this." "Yes, you can. It's a loan. You'll pay me back when you get the money for the bridge. Your father will be furious if he finds out." Michael sighed. "Amanda, my father won't find out because I won't tell him. And even if he did, I don't care. I'm tired of being ashamed of his actions." "Why are you doing this?" "Because it's the right thing, and because I believe in you. I know you'll finish that bridge." Amanda took the envelope with trembling hands. "Michael, I don't know how to thank you." "Finish the bridge. That'll be thanks enough." That same afternoon, Amanda rushed to the hospital. With the $10,000 from Michael, plus the $5,000 she'd received from Anderson, she convinced the administration to proceed with the surgery. "Your mother will be okay," said Dr. Sarah. "It's a delicate procedure, but she's strong." For the 8 hours of surgery, Amanda waited in the lobby. Betty, Dorothy, Jennifer, and even Walter came to keep her company. "Your mother will pull through, dear," Walter said. "A strong woman like her doesn't give up easily." When Dr. Sarah came out of the operating room, everyone stood anxiously. "Everything went well," she said, smiling. "The surgery was a success. Your mother is stable and recovering." Amanda broke down in tears of relief. "Can I see her?" "Of course. But she's still under anesthesia." Mrs. Margaret was pale but breathing peacefully. Amanda held her hand and whispered, "We did it, Mom. You're going to be okay, and I'm going to finish that bridge." The next day, they returned to work with renewed energy. The news of the successful surgery lifted the whole team's spirits. "Now we just have to make up for lost time," said Walter. "We still have 45 days. With the experience of the masons, the structure began to take shape. The pillars were ready and they started installing the main beams. It was precision work. Amanda had designed an interlocking system that allowed the bridge to be assembled like a giant puzzle. "I've never seen anything like it," said Walter, amazed. "This technique saves a lot of material and time." "I learned it by studying Japanese bridges," Amanda explained. "They've used this technique for centuries. And it works. We'll find out." She smiled. Anderson started showing up every week again, always expecting to find some problem. But each time he was more surprised by the progress. "This isn't normal," he grumbled to one of the men accompanying him. "They're moving too fast." "Maybe you underestimated them, boss." "Impossible. They're just women." That's when he had a devilish idea. If he couldn't stop the project through sabotage, he'd try bureaucracy. The next morning, 3 men in suits arrived at the site carrying clipboards. "Good morning," one of them said. "We're from the Municipal Inspection Office. We're here for an inspection." "Inspection for what?" asked Amanda. "We already had one last week. This is a special inspection. We received a complaint that the construction is being done without the proper permits." "What complaint?" "I have all the documentation up to date." "That's what we're here to verify." The inspectors spent the entire day examining every detail of the project. They measured everything, checked all the documents, photographed every corner. "Did you find any issues?" Amanda asked by the end of the day. "No," said the lead inspector, sounding disappointed. "Everything is in order, more than in order. It's one of the best executed projects I've ever seen." "So, we can keep working?" Absolutely. There are no irregularities. After the inspectors left, Michael arrived at the site. My father sent them, didn't he? He asked. I think so, said Amanda. I'm sorry. He's desperate because he sees you're going to succeed. Michael, can I ask you something? Of course. Why are you helping us? You're his son, you should be on his side. Michael sighed and looked at the bridge, which was now more than halfway finished. My father always told me women aren't cut out for engineering, that women are weak, can't handle pressure, lack technical vision. I grew up believing that. What changed? You, all of you. Seeing the work you're doing here made me realize my father was wrong, that I was wrong. And now I want to learn from you. I want to work for a company that values competence, not prejudice. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing. With 25 days left, the bridge was nearly done. Only the finishing touches and railing installation remained. Amanda visited her mother every day at the hospital. Mrs. Margaret was recovering well and could already sit up in bed. Sweetheart, how's the bridge coming along, Sam? She asked. Good, Mom, really good. It'll be ready in 3 weeks. I'm so proud of you. I always knew you were capable of great things. Mom, there were times I thought about giving up, but you didn't. That's what matters. Your grandmother always said a strong woman never quits. Will you come to the inauguration? God willing, I will. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Back at the site, Amanda noticed unusual activity. There were more people working. What's going on? She asked Betty. More volunteers arrived, Betty said, smiling. Word about the bridge must have spread through the area. Sure enough, 8 more people were working, men and women of all ages, all eager to help finish the bridge. Are you sure about this? Amanda asked. It's a lot of work. We sure do, said a woman in her 60s. I'm Susan. I live across the river. This bridge will change our lives. And I'm Kevin, said a young man. I'm a mason. I heard about your project and wanted to help. But I can't pay anything. No one expects payment, Susan said. We want to be part of this story. It's beautiful to see women fighting and winning. With so many people helping, the work progressed much faster. In 10 days, they installed all the guardrails and finished the details. Anderson showed up at the site and was shocked to see the bridge nearly complete. This is impossible, he said to Michael, who had arrived with him. How did they do it so fast? Teamwork, Dad, something you never understood. Don't give me that nonsense. They must have used some trick. Michael shook his head. The only trick they used was competence, something our company lost a long time ago. Our company? You work for me. Worked, Dad. Worked. Anderson turned red. What are you saying? That I'm quitting. I'm tired of working for a company that undervalues talent because of prejudice. Are you crazy? This company is your inheritance. An inheritance I don't care about anymore. Michael walked over to Amanda. Can we talk? Of course. They stepped away from the others. Amanda, I want to make you a proposal. What kind of proposal? I want us to start a construction company together, one that values competence regardless of gender. Amanda was surprised. Michael, think about it. You have the technical knowledge and innovative vision. I have contacts and business experience. Together we can revolutionize the industry here. What about your father? My father will have to learn to deal with competition. Amanda looked at the nearly finished bridge, then at the team that had formed around the project. You know what, Michael? I accept, but on one condition. What? The company must have a social commitment, train women to work in construction, give opportunities to those who never had any. Deal, Michael said, extending his hand. Partners? Partners, Amanda replied, shaking his hand. Anderson had overheard part of the conversation and was furious. Michael, you can't do this to me. Yes, I can, Dad. And I will. I'll disown you. You won't get another cent from me. I don't need your money, Dad. I'd rather build my own wealth with dignity. Anderson looked around the site, seeing all those people working together, men and women, young and old, united by a common goal. You'll regret this, he said. This little pink fantasy of yours won't last. We'll see. Amanda said calmly. In the last 5 days before the deadline, they made the final adjustments to the bridge. They tested the structure, painted the guardrails, and installed the signage. On the eve of the delivery, they organized a small celebration at the site. Harold brought sodas, Betty made a cake, and everyone celebrated together. "Tomorrow's the big day," said Walter. "Exactly 90 days. "I'm nervous," Amanda admitted. What if something goes wrong in the final test?" "It won't," Michael said. "This bridge is perfect. Better than anything we've ever built." "It's true," Walter agreed. "In 30 years in this business, I've never seen work done so well." On the morning of the 90th day, the city engineer Anderson and 3 men in suits arrived at the site. "Good morning," the engineer said. "We'll conduct the final bridge test." Amanda was nervous but confident. They had followed every technical specification to the letter. The test involved driving a loaded truck across the bridge multiple times, measuring vibrations and checking for any structural deformations. "You may begin," the engineer said. The truck, loaded with 15 tons of sand, slowly entered the bridge. Amanda held her breath. The bridge didn't budge an inch. "You can speed up," the engineer told the driver. The truck passed through faster. The bridge remained steady. "Now with 2 trucks," ordered the engineer. 2 loaded trucks crossed the bridge together. Not a single tremor. Anderson was pale, seeing his plan to humiliate Amanda had completely failed. "The tests are being conducted according to regulations," said the engineer. "But I want to do an extra test." "What kind of test?" asked Amanda. "I'll put double the weight the bridge was designed to hold. If it withstands, it'll be approved with top marks." "But that's not mandatory." "It's not. But it's a test that proves the exceptional quality of the work." 4 loaded trucks entered the bridge simultaneously. It was far more weight than it would ever need to bear. The bridge held perfectly. "Incredible," said the engineer. "This bridge held double the specified weight. It's the sturdiest structure I've ever tested." "So it's approved?" asked Amanda. "Approved with top marks. Congratulations, Engineer Johnson. You've built a masterpiece." The whole team celebrated. Hugs, shouts of joy, tears of emotion. Anderson approached with a sour look. "Fine," he said. "The bridge is ready, but it means nothing, just luck." "Luck?" said Michael. "Dad, this was pure skill. At least admit that." "I admit nothing. I paid the bet. It's over." Anderson pulled an envelope from his pocket and tossed it into Amanda's hand. "Here's the $200,000. I don't want to see you in my territory again." Amanda opened the envelope. Sure enough, it was $200,000 in cash. "Thank you, Mr. Anderson, but I have news for you." "What news?" "I'm staying in the area. Your son and I are opening a construction company here." Anderson turned purple with rage. "Then it's war." "It's not war, Mr. Anderson. It's competition. Something healthy for the market." "We'll see who wins this fight." "We already have," said Michael. "We've earned the community's respect, something you lost long ago." Anderson turned his back and left without another word. That afternoon they held the official bridge inauguration. Mrs. Margaret, still weak but determined, left the hospital to cut the ribbon. "I'm so proud of my daughter," she told the small crowd gathered. "She proved that a woman can do anything with determination." "Thank you, Mom, but it wasn't just me. It was this whole wonderful team." Amanda looked at everyone who had helped. Betty, Dorothy, Jennifer, Walter, and the other workers, Harold, Brandon, Michael. They had all been essential to their success. "This bridge isn't just mine," she said. "It's all of ours. Proof that when we come together, no obstacle is too great." The bridge opened to traffic that same day. The first car to cross was Mrs. Margaret's, with Amanda at the wheel. "How do you feel, dear?" asked her mother. "Fulfilled, Mom. Very fulfilled." "And now, what are the plans?" "Now we'll build many more bridges, not just of concrete and steel, but bridges between people, bridges between dreams and reality." A month later, Johnson and Anderson Construction was operating from a small office in downtown Ridgefield. They already had 3 projects lined up and a team of 15 people, 8 of them women. Betty had become a site supervisor. Dorothy and Jennifer were part of the administrative team. Walter was the foreman. "I never thought I'd become a businesswoman," said Betty, looking at her signed employment card. "You never know what life has in store," Amanda replied. Michael walked into the office carrying blueprints for a new project. "Amanda, we have another client. They want a bridge over the river in Newburgh." "Another bridge? Seems like our reputation has spread. Everyone wants bridges built by the team behind the Miracle of Ridgefield." "Miracle of Ridgefield? That's what they're calling our project. The TV folks want to do a story about you." Amanda smiled. "It wasn't a miracle, Michael. It was hard work. Hard work by determined women," he added. 6 months later, Anderson showed up at the new company's office. He was visibly shaken. "Can I talk to you both?" he asked humbly. Amanda and Michael exchanged surprised glances. "Of course, Mr. Anderson, have a seat. I came here because I need to admit I was wrong." "How so?" Anderson took a deep breath. "My company is going under. I lost 3 big contracts this month. Clients prefer hiring you." "We're sorry to hear that," Amanda said sincerely. "I'm not," Michael replied. "It was inevitable. A company built on prejudice has no future." "Michael, please," Amanda urged. "Let him speak." "Thank you," Anderson said. "I came here with a proposal." "What proposal?" "I want to sell my company to you for a fair price, and I want to apologize." Amanda was stunned. "Apologize?" "Yes, I was wrong about women in engineering. Wrong about you. You're a brilliant engineer, better than I ever was." "Mr. Anderson, let me finish, please. I spent my whole life believing in foolish prejudices. I wasted talent, hurt people, built a company without a soul." Anderson looked at Michael. "And I nearly lost my son because of it. Dad, Michael, you made the right choice. This company you've built has something mine never did. Heart." "What exactly do you want?" Amanda asked. "I want to join you, if you'll have me. Not as a partner, but as an employee. I want to learn what real engineering is." Michael and Amanda exchanged another glance. "We'll need to think about it," Amanda said. "It's a big decision." "I understand, and I'll accept whatever answer you give." After Anderson left, Michael and Amanda talked late into the night. "What do you think?" Michael asked. "I think he's changed, but change has to be proven in action." "What if he's faking it?" "Then we'll find out soon enough. But you know what? Everyone deserves a second chance. You're too generous." "It's not generosity, Michael. It's strategy. Imagine the impact of seeing Richard Anderson working under the supervision of women engineers." Michael laughed. "You're devious. I'm practical." A week later, Anderson started working at the company as a junior engineer. He earned a quarter of what he used to, but he seemed genuinely happy. "How are you adjusting, Mr. Anderson?" Betty asked at the end of his first day. "Good, Betty, really good. I've learned more in one day here than in years at my old company." "That's because here, we work as a team," she said. "Everyone teaches what they know and learns what they don't. It's a very different philosophy from what I was used to. And better, right?" Anderson smiled. "Much better." A year after the bridge's opening, they threw an anniversary celebration. The whole community came. There was music, food, games for the kids. Amanda stepped onto a small platform to give a speech. "A year ago, I was just an unemployed engineer trying to pay for my mother's surgery. Today, we're a company of 50 employees, 25 of them women." The crowd applauded. "We've built 12 bridges, 15 affordable homes, and a community center. But the most important thing we've built are the bridges between people." More applause. "We've proven that skill has no gender, that talent doesn't pick a social class, and that dreams can come true when we work together." In the audience, Mrs. Margaret watched tearfully beside Harold, who had become her boyfriend. "I want to thank every person who believed in this project when it was just an impossible dream," Amanda continued. "You taught me that a woman's strength multiplies when other women stand beside her." Betty, Dorothy, and Jennifer hugged each other, moved. "And I want to tell every girl here today, you can be whatever you want to be. Engineers, doctors, businesswomen, artists. The world is full of possibilities for those brave enough to dream." The celebration lasted late into the night. People of all ages danced, talked, and celebrated. Michael approached Amanda. "What are you thinking about?" "I'm thinking that a year ago I was crying alone by a river, convinced I wouldn't make it. And today, you own the most respected construction company in the region." "It's not just that, Michael. I've learned something important." "What?" "That no dream is impossible when you find the right people to dream with." Michael smiled. "So what's next? What's the next dream?" Amanda looked at the illuminated bridge in the distance, then at all the people celebrating. "The next dream is to keep building bridges, real bridges and symbolic ones. Bridges that connect people, bring communities together, and bring opportunities where they don't exist." "And what's the first one?" "It's already approved. A bridge in Rockville, connecting two underserved neighborhoods. It'll be built entirely by formerly incarcerated women we're training." "Formerly incarcerated women? Why not? If everyone deserves a second chance, so do they." Michael shook his head in admiration. "You're really going to change the world, Amanda." "I'm not changing the world, Michael. I'm building bridges, and the bridges will change the world." That night, as the celebration continued, Amanda stepped onto the bridge she had built. She looked down at the river that a year ago had seemed like an insurmountable obstacle. Now, it was just water flowing peacefully beneath a solid structure, built with skill, determination, and a lot of sweat. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from a 16-year-old girl in a nearby town. "I saw your story on TV. I want to be an engineer like you. Is it possible?" Amanda quickly typed back, "Of course it's possible. Come see me on Monday. Let's build bridges together." She put her phone away and smiled. The future was full of possibilities, and she could hardly wait to build the next bridges. Amanda Johnson's story had begun with tears and despair by a river, but it ended with hope, achievements, and the certainty that when a woman believes in herself and finds others who believe in her, there's no limit to what can be built. And the bridge remained there, solid and beautiful, carrying people from one side to the other, connecting dreams to reality, proving every day that skill, determination, and teamwork can overcome any prejudice. The end. So what did you think of Amanda's story? Tell us in the comments which part moved you the most and if you know any strong women like her. Do you believe women can achieve any profession when given the opportunity? Share your honest thoughts below. Don't forget to like if the story touched your heart, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other inspiring stories like this one. Thanks for joining us.